Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Orion Spirit Point. And welcome outside to Southwest Colorado, before it gets rainy. Recording this on Sunday, and this will be posted on Monday. So, probably going to be rainy on Monday. So, wanted to get outside. Hmm. So, this will be ooh, okay. This will be a physical integration video. And I've been saying this for quite a while, and this will actually be a brief explanation because literally we could talk about this for hours. But it's important for the physical integration process and physical integration activation to one, know this, and two, be able to work with this and be responsible. No, not responsible, be mature. It's probably a better way. So, this will be the activation, or in some ways working with light codes. So, fancy word, what is it? And then also like how you work with something. If you can't see it, well, that's the first thing. You have to be able to see it first. So I invite you that in this moment, just to do a full rotation. And when I say full rotation, what I mean by that is just go like straight to source and then come back. And when you do that, that's what I would call one rotation. And then it kind of clears out the system, clears the body. So the way I do it is that I go through to the heart of the planet, to the heart of Big Mother Earth, who then go to the heart of the sun and then go straight to source and then return. And so that kind of flushes anything out that may be lingering, or I might get caught up in something. And when that happens, I usually can see way more clearly. And then I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm back. I'm back. Because we can get lost and or get caught up and stuff, right? Everybody can. So, but so the first step is being able to witness it. And what is it? So light codes in general, they're everywhere. They make the basis of everything, but they're like the basic foundation of how something works or what you're walking into. So a good way to look at this is if, oh yeah, so if you go to the post office, why do you wait in line? Right? Because that's the system that's built up. But it's also like by you going in, you actually accept to do that. And you are going to witness and sit and you're going to wait for the turn to come in order for you to mail the thing. And so it all plugs into a bigger system. So it's the foundation of it. So the light codes, when you witness it, is actually in some ways they crystallize the physical world on what you're walking into and plug into a bigger system of how this all works, right? So you are going to use that example. You are going to the post office in order to do something that you've accepted to do. And this is like classic example is like let's say you're mailing in, oh yeah, well, you're mailing in your passport application. So that being said, you're connecting into a bunch of different systems that are now crystallized into the physical world. And by going into the post office to mail something on time, you're now waiting in line. And then you also get to see by walking in, there's in some ways a invitation and an activation on what you are being asked to do. So classic example, when you go to the DMV, here's something in the States. I don't know if it's everywhere in Europe and Australia and India and places like that, but their common joke is that DMV is hell on earth, right? So it's a joke, but it's been a stereotype for a while is that when you go to the DMV, it's long wait times, trying to get your registration done or get your first driver's license. I mean, it's in sitcoms, it's in everywhere, right? Okay. When you walk in, there is actually a whole thing that is being set before you, and whether you engage and accept it is, and it really doesn't need by you just walking in. It's like a byproduct of accepting it. And then in some ways it can help siphon and shift your energy as well. Because I don't know of anybody that's done to use the example of the DMV, gone to the DMV and then returned feeling energized. It's kind of like a lull because there's been energy, right? Also your mood and maintaining your mood and trying to just sit and do that. So that is an example of a system that is being interacted with, when I call light codes, and they also like interact and crystallize into the physical. Okay. So witnessing them, and then the really important part is being mature about it, because now if you can see them, when you hold on to them, if you try to change it, know what can happen, because that's a big thing. Because once you see it, if you try to change it, then your system can get fried. So I'll explain how that happens very, very briefly, because this is a different kind of video. There was a time when I was working as a manager that I actually got to witness them. And I wanted to change it because I could see how it plugged into the matrix, and it plugged in and then it crystallized in the formation of the job I was working in, and then how everybody walked in. And then actually the mood of it dictated a certain energetic bandwidth of energy for your expression. And it was in this little thing. And there was a simple common expression that was being like funneled in, and I didn't like it, so I was going to change it because I witnessed it. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. And I remember energetically, of course, and trying to grab hold, and my system popped. So I got thrown out of my body. And then coming back in took time, took about a week. But that was when the acknowledgement of something that you witnessing it is just like, don't, just because you can doesn't mean that you're allowed to. So that's the maturity part of it. But it's also like, by witnessing it, why is it important? Right? Is that by witnessing it, you can actually change um how you walk, how you be, how you interact with the world itself. It's big. It's a big thing, because by taking the current example that we have, taking the DMV as an example, when you walk in, when you see those, you first have to be like integrated enough, have that amount of life force and that clarity. And then when you witness it, then you can actually change your agreement by walking in. Right? Can you see how this changes? Because like by doing that, you'd be like, okay, I can see it. I can see what you're doing. I can see what the offering is. I can see how it like crystallizes into the physical form, how this connects into so much more, and be like, okay, but I'm just going to walk in, and then I don't agree to this, this, and this. It's literally like signing a form, but you're making amendments, and then your energy gets to change because it's no longer being agreed to by, what's that called? There's a word for it, a non-audible, I don't know. There's a word for it, basically meaning that if you don't address something, then it's taken as acceptance. So anyways, getting back into it. So that's what we're actually doing. So like by holding that, then you get to actually walk in the world. So like, have you ever felt like so connected to your soul, and then you can hold that charge for only so long? And then if you interact with the world, it's like this huge confrontation where it like really, really pushes on you to hold it. Because in some ways, the people around you are like, if you're walking in, then they can see you, and they like, you're being pulled back into in some ways, an overlay. So by holding that, then you can actually walk through the world and not have that confrontational force, because it's no longer confrontational. You can actually see it, and then see what, and the maze and the way the flow itself works through that energy. But it's actually witnessing the light codes. So by doing that, then you can actually do that. And when you actually start creating some of your really big creations, so whether that's like your your personal business, or if you're creating like pottery or a song. Ooh, songs are great. Or a song, a video, okay, or a physical thing, so woodworking, anything like that. When you're participating in that creation, then you can actually start to work with your light codes, your own, and then the witnessing this, and then you really get to shape something really profound because you now get to co-create in a whole more deeper way too. So this is like witnessing it and playing with them, but that it takes a certain level of maturity and being able to witness them, but also walking in, then you get to actually see it and be like, okay, you get to witness how your energy changes when you go into somewhere. And then you have the ability to say whether you want to or not. It's a big part of how you interact with land as well, being able to witness them, being able to see the light codes actually beckons you deeper and deeper into land itself. But it's a huge point of physical integration because walking in the physical as your soul essence, it's no longer that confrontational force that really, really drains. So, in some ways, it's the activation of the peace codes from this land, which showed me that, and then how you can interact with the light codes in a peaceful way without confrontational and changing the whole world because it's not yours to change. And being in your soul essence and then seeing them and coming in and being able to go wherever you're meant to go or want to go without having that, oh, geez, how do I live in this world? So it's a way to build up your charge even more without sacrificing. So if this is fun. So this has been fun to do. I like the physical integration. It's been very, very fun and coming into form. So yes, this will be posted on Monday. I have an announcement. There will be a no, I'll wait on the announcement part. So anyways, with that, I give you love in your journey in this beautiful life and this huge, huge adventure and your expression. Shine bright.